The following is a presentation of the United Wrestling Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a moment of silence and a 10-bell salute for Joseph Hudson, better known to wrestling fans as Josephus and the Question Mark.
Hello, Lake Charles, and welcome to Championship Wrestling Gulf Coast. I am Bryce Boudreaux, here to bring you the best of the United Wrestling Network to the Lake area. We have a star-studded episode today that I cannot wait to get into. In our main event, Dan Joseph defends his United Television Championship against Dom Kubrick. It will be a battle of the heavyweights as Fred Rosser, James Storm, and Chris the Masterpiece Masters meet in a triple threat match. Also on the program, NXT's Cora Jade squares off with the Killer Bay Heather Monroe. But up first, a rivalry spilling over from New Japan Pro Wrestling hits the Gulf Coast as Clark Connors locks horns with Danny Limelight. Let's get to ringside.
Connors has been put through the paces by Katsuyori Shibata in the dojo, and it shows. The hard work paying off in spades, looking to double up with the suplex. Can he do it? He does indeed.
To perfection, and like you said, Shibata handpicked Connors to be the captain of the New Japan LA dojo. I mean, what just a sign of respect and faith in a guy like Clark Connors to get that from Shibata.
After that loss to Connors in the finals, Danny Limelight said that was the hardest I've ever been hit in a match. Talking about his fisticuffs with Connors. Wide base by Connors there to nullify the suplex, and looking for one himself. A real power struggle. Wow, a lot of snap on that.
Both guys are really jockeying for positions. They're trying to catch each other. Oh, here we go with the pin. Both guys are really jockeying for position on that suplex, capturing each other's legs, preventing the tops from going over. And we see now that Clark Connors is back in control, really trying to damage Danny Limelight's back so that hopefully he can lock in that Boston Crab later on in the match.
Yep, putting deposits in that pain bank. Look at these crossface shots. So out of the frying pan, into the fire. There's no rest for the wicked for Danny Limelight. Into the cover, does not hook the leg. Only a count of one. But I mean, look at this. Limelight is getting smothered here. Hard to catch a breath.
You know, Limelight, he pushed for this rematch. You know, he didn't want to let Clark Connors enjoy this victory. He wanted to prove himself right away. Maybe a little bit of frustration for Limelight is what pushed him there. He hasn't been able to adjust his game so far.
And I gotta wonder, Blake, if maybe a victory here by Connors will allow Clark Connors to shed those classic black tights of the Young Lions, and much like Carl Fredericks, move on to the main roster and open up that playbook of offense.
Solidifying another win over Danny Limelight here can absolutely put Connors in a position like you had just mentioned.
Let's talk about the road they both face in that Lions break crowd. Shot after shot here by Connors, and now Limelight returning the favor, answering in kind. Certainly not kindly, man. This thing turning into a serious slugfest in a hurry. The intensity off the Richter.
Connors is definitely in there trying to prove that win over Danny Limelight the other day was not a fluke.
Danny Limelight looking for victories here on Primetime Live. We saw him against Kevin Martinson in tag team action with Papa Esco against the Wolf Zaddies. Looking for his first Primetime Live victory. Big hip toss but he showed how resilient he can be, Danny Limelight. Survived the likes of Barrett Brown and Blake Christian to get a date with Destiny in the finals. Looking for that grab again. Warded off nicely, not giving him that
Well
second
scouted.
leg, but still has the single leg crab here. Still dangerous.
Danny Limelight did a fantastic job of trying to capture Chris Connors' ankles to prevent getting rolled over, but Connors was able to get it, and Limelight gets to the ropes with the rope break.
Limelight gets to the ropes. On the flip side, we talked about the road of Danny Limelight. Clark Connors defeated Jordan Clearwater in the quarters, then Logan Regal, and then met Danny Limelight in the finals. Got the submission victory. He's got him sized up here. Look at that spear. What a counter. Boy, maybe taking up hurdling is Danny Limelight.
Again, incredible agility and alacrity from Danny Limelight. He is, though, hurting himself. You know, if Connors had gotten both legs in that crab, it might have been over for Limelight, but as it is, he's still alive.
Connors is absolutely really trying to damage Limelight's body. He wants to get that submission finish again here tonight.
Incredible way to kick things off here on Primetime Live. 2 championship matches coming your way later on. Oh, look at the fancy footwork of Danny Limelight into the double knees. Meteora, swing and a miss, and a German suplex back the other way. Little receipt from earlier. Oh, but countering the kick was Connors. Nicely scouted there. Steps through. Oh, thought it was going to be, he was looked for that crab again. Nice counter. Limelight 1 step ahead. Look out here. JFK to LAX connects.
Elevation sensation from Limelight to Connors. Both men are down. Both men are hurting. But do you hear a dial tone? Because hashtag Primetime Live is off the hook.
Very good. You've been sitting next to me too long. I got to ask you though, Blake, is that maybe because of that limited offense? Is Connors a bit of a one-trick pony with that Boston Crab? He used it effectively in the finals of the tournament, but Danny Limelight has countered it thus far.
I'm a firm believer in fundamentals.
There's the dive to the inside, taking another look. Great work by our production staff. And we go back to the live action now, looking perhaps for a fisherman suplex, digging down deep. But your thoughts back to my earlier point.
So yeah, I think that fundamentals win championships. I'd rather be the guy who has practiced one kick 1,000 times than 1,000 kicks one time. So I believe that it's still in Clark Connors' favor.
How about that? A bit of a pounce there. Almost like the tackle for loss that we saw out of Big Money Clutch, the Real Money Brothers weeks ago. So there's a little wrinkle in the offense. I think, again, Connors getting closer and closer to where he can take some liberties. He's earned the trust. And now there's that spear from the ramp to the inside. That's step 1. Doesn't elect to go for the crab. Goes for the cover. Close call.
Oh, I thought that was all she wrote. And you're talking about Clark Connors adding little wrinkles to his game. You know, when does frustration start to creep in for him? When you want to go more, but you have to stick to your training, stick to what you know. That's how you dance with the one that brought you. He's going for that crab again.
Sure is. We'll see if he can get that.
Limelight's got to keep his shoulders down on the mat so he doesn't get rolled over. If one of his shoulders comes up,
Turned it into a cradle. Beautifully done. Almost caught him. Get another expert counter and a huge tornado kick.
wow, that was to the back of Connors' head, man. That's a big shot. In mixed martial arts, you're not allowed to hit somebody behind their ears to the back of the head, and that was definitely to the back of the head.
Covered now by Limelight, trying to avenge that loss. And I think Limelight Rivera has just been, ever since Friday, it's been eating him alive. He's obsessed with defeating Clark Connors.
There's not a whole lot of motivation that a fighter can have like taking a loss. That's one of the biggest things that's either going to motivate a guy or put him down. And as we're seeing tonight with Danny Limelight's performance, he is stepping up.
Limelight would always talk about it being the year of the Spider. 2020 certainly is heading that way here towards the end. You know, despite the year most have happened, it's been a breakout year for Danny Limelight. Really cap it off with a victory. Wow, putting a lot behind those shots, turning into a fireworks grand finale. Swing and a miss with the round kick, and what a chop, a deke leader there by Connors. Took him right off his feet.
These boys were just going toe-to-toe. They just hit each other with everything that they have.
Right, this is what he did in the finals. He hit the elevated spear from the second rope. Well, he slipped. He slipped. And Limelight able to counter immediately.
Open the door for Danny Limelight. This could be what the match changes on right now.
Ooh, all the way up top here. Look out, Blake. Big time superplex. Floats over into the fisherman. A bit of a fisherman buster. Is that going to do it? Oh, counter the other way.
Wow.
Here is your winner, Clark Connors.
oh my, gentlemen, fundamentals gets it done. The young Lion formula gets it done. The superplex, the fisherman buster, and it was a reversal, a counter, and Connors snags victory from the jaws of defeat.
Lance by chance. The untold story of him wrestling as a Von Erich. LanceByChance.com.
Building a home or business? Renovating your kitchen or bathroom? Then you need Value Cabinetry and Renovations. We're the most trusted cabinet and countertop business in the greater Houston area, and now we're in Lake Charles. We specialize in cost-effective, high-quality material with more than 20 styles of cabinets and 50 options of countertops. Our goal is to complete your project to perfection. Visit our showroom on Dillard Loop or call 832-790-8826.
Elena Black from Chicago returned to action in June, but then suffered a torn MCL. So really had to maybe to make somewhat of a deal with the devil to come back this quickly. Impressive. Leg lariat dropping all the weight down. We can't even get a second to breathe here to call this action. Guys, it has been non-stop. And you can see Heather Monroe on the outside in anguish. That high impact move there taking its toll.
Elena Black's going to need to be careful out here because another card that she hasn't been thinking about is the Joker in House and Body in Heather Monroe's corner. You never know what's going to happen with that wild card.
That's a great point. And, you know, Blake mentioned it earlier. Maybe some jet lag and stuff here for Heather. As Blake mentioned, wrestled for Shimmer over the weekend out in Indianapolis as part of the collective. Got a victory, did the Keller Bay, over Layla Hirsch. But the travel, the competition, and right back here to live action, it's got to take its toll eventually, guys.
As I say, it's not the years, it's the mileage, but you know, Elena Black, she's been putting in the miles herself, coming out from Chicago, making her California debut. Any sort of butterflies coming to play there. It's big-time stuff on Primetime Live.
I think something to keep in mind, though, is we're seeing a slower start out of Heather Monroe. Oh!
Alston getting involved. You talk about
that
the
was
Joker.
That wild
There's
card.
Playing that card. Legal in this gap. Double stomp by the Keller Bay, taking over control of this matchup. Man, what great women's division action we've had throughout the weeks. As the Keller Bay goes for the cover, we look back to the likes of Thunder Rosa defending the NWA Women's World Championship against Priscilla Kelly, Allison Kane, Nicole Savoy, we saw Ruby Reyes, Lacey Ryan, CeCe Chanel. It's just been a fixture, and now the Keller Bay making her pay the price.
Something interesting about this submission is they're in the dead center of the ring. It is going to be very hard for Elena to get out of this unless Heather lets her out. She's not getting to the ropes anytime soon. What an interesting submission hold she has here.
But putting the weight back on the shoulders, comes up with a pin attempt, does the Sorceress of Sin.
We've seen a little bit of damage on Elena Black's elbow. You saw her holding it there.
Elena Black, you talked about high-profile matches as well. You can see her on AEW Dark. A lot of people, Watson did some time traveling. A lot of people doing their best Rick Rude impression these days. But we're live here on Primetime Live.
Heather Monroe's doing a fantastic job of keeping Elena Black in the corner. She's done this now in both corners, and she's just got her there, stuck, absorbing damage. Elena Black has got to do something to get out of this danger zone. Otherwise, she's going to keep taking big shots like that one from Heather Monroe. Wow.
Nowhere to go but down in the corner there, James. That series
Elena
of moves.
needs to find the exit. Cover. Able to kick out. Elena needs to find an exit to get her bearings and get back on track in this matchup. One thing that we haven't seen Heather Monroe trying to exploit that MCL injury of Elena Black. That's something that might come into play later on in this match.
I'm actually surprised that she hasn't, because she is the type of competitor that will look for any weak link in the chain that she can find. And we know that if that knee's been recently injured, that's definitely one of Elena's weak links.
Snapmare takedown there by Heather Monroe. Tries to get the full court press. Senton. Don't often see that from the Keller Bay.
We're seeing Heather do a good job of slowly chipping away at Elena Black. She's not doing anything crazy drastic. Whoa, submission hold.
You called for it. Might be working on those lower extremities now. That MCL going to be put to the test here. Ooh, double jeopardy there.
So her knees slipped out of the submission a little bit, and she took that stomp right down into the mat. That was brutal.
Into the cover. And Heather Monroe has taken over the time of possession offensively in this matchup, James. You know, what do you think in your estimation that Black can do to get this thing rolling her way again?
Like I said, I think she needs to find a way to take a breather. There's a clothesline. That'll buy her some time. But the trouble is, as Blake mentioned, the Joker outside, there's no real place for her to go where she's not going to be assailed on all sides. And then you see that knee colliding with the turnbuckle.
Heather Monroe, boy, that knee has got a bullseye on it now, Blake.
Yeah, and that was an accident right there where she did that flying knee to the turnbuckle on a pin. Man, Heather's starting to get closer on these pins. The first two are quick one-count kickouts, but you're starting to see some damage accumulate on Elena Black.
I'm sure Blake knows this better than anyone, but when you have an injury like that, too, confidence comes into play. You can think it's better, but when you're in the deep water here, maybe some doubts creep in.
So that's a big aspect of rehabilitation. Part of it is getting it physically back and ready to work, and the other part is believing that it's back working. Elena's in there doing work, but now that we're starting to see some damage on the knee, maybe she's going to start questioning it. We just got to watch and find out.
I asked her in the back, you know, when she mentioned that injury to me, I asked her how it's holding up, how she's feeling. If it's 100%, she said, as the cards dictate, yes, it is. But 3 or 4 months seems like a pretty quick turnaround time to recuperate from a knee injury like that. But nice snap to that kick.
It's definitely extremely quick. That's why you got to wonder if she made some type of deal with the devil.
Well, look at this. Getting sent to hell right now is Heather Monroe in this octopus stretch.
Nowhere to go.
Second time, as you mentioned, dead center in the ring, but turns it into a sidewalk slam, physical counter. But look at the pain on the face of both. This has been one heck of a war.
Heather found a beautiful way to get herself out of that. I didn't know where she needed to go from there, but she knew she needed to get out, and she found a slam and put Elena Black on her back.
Back and forth, seesaw action. As we've seen, some of the greatest competitors in all of the women's divisions in pro wrestling coming right here to Primetime Live. Transition to strikes, looking for that big underhook DDT, calls it the fade to black. Heather Monroe was wise to it. Heather Monroe perhaps looking for a dragon suplex. Now, well, to a dragon sleeper, drives her down. Does Elena Black in a close call. That hand was coming down. You can see there, breathing a sigh of relief. He needs that fan in double time, does Halston.
Yeah, Halston body looked like his heart was about to stop in his chest, that maybe those cards were the roadmap for Elena Black here. But I got to give Heather Monroe credit. She hasn't been intimidated by those mind games. But here she is in the passenger seat of Elena Black. She's fighting out of it, though.
Nice counter yet again. It's been back and forth, lots of great counters. There it is, dragon suplex. Another big wrinkle in the offensive playbook of Heather Monroe. Goes for the cover, looking to put away. Is it enough? Not yet.
That counter was fantastic. You started to see Elena Black getting a little bit comfortable, started to get control of the match again, only to get countered and suplexed on her head.
I would think, I mentioned the NWA World's Women's title was defended weeks ago, the FSW Women's title, and here we go. Inside cradle, how close was that? And we found out that very soon there will be a United Wrestling Network Women's Championship. That recently announced on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. So the competitors jockeying for position. Big knee there by Elena Black. Halston body on the apron here, James.
Paying big dividends. Elena Black could have gone for the cover. She might have had this match won if not for Halston body.
I wonder if she saw this in the cards.
As I see it, no. Looking for the mat. Michinoku driver. And Elena Black is out. Monroe gets the win.
Here is your winner, Heather Monroe.
Back to her winning ways, the Killer Babe.
Heather Monroe, she was called the fool by Elena Black coming in. She's leaving the Queen of Swords tonight on Primetime Live.
And it's all thanks to that Joker next to her.
Do you use Viagra or Cialis? Have you been thinking about trying Viagra or Cialis? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 or more a pill for Viagra, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. Stop overpaying for expensive prescriptions. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call now and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Call us anytime, day or night, and start saving big money for the exact same results. Have your credit card ready. Ordering is fast and easy, with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. Call now.
King of Wrestling Podcast is the #1 wrestling podcast that puts a spotlight on independent wrestlers and promotions. Join host Brandon Turner as he interviews some of the biggest names in independent wrestling today, like Championship Wrestling Gulf Coast stars Danny Limelight, Papa Esco, Will Alday, Zicky Dice, and much more. Listen to King of Wrestling Podcast today on all your favorite podcast platforms. The King of Wrestling Podcast. Listen today.
It almost seems cliche with James Storm to say he's always looking for a fight, but tonight it's the literal truth. He just showed up in the backstage area and now is going to take part in this huge... Oh, he's going right after Masters. Well, I guess that's what you get when Masters poured out his suds.
Yeah, you don't pour out another man's beer, and now Masters is facing the ramifications of that as Fred Rosser just happy to get in where he can.
This is 3 impressive guys in here. All these dudes are big boys. Sometimes we see a little bit of a differential, but all 3 of these guys are big boys, and they're looking to hurt each other.
3 big match experience as well. Will not be intimidated, I think, by anyone.
These guys have competed on the grandest stage at the highest level, all network professional wrestling stars of the highest caliber. Look at this. Rosser working together to take down Masters. Now dropping the knee is the bearded outlaw. And a quick leg drop there by Rosser. I gotta think that teamwork will be short-lived in a match like this. Of course, guys, every man for himself. Masters calling for a timeout. First pinfall submission is gonna take home the victory.
Yeah, teamwork will only go so far in a format like this. It's more to isolate one so you get to that more traditional single-style matchup, and then it's anything goes.
Fred Dosser did a good job of just staying out of the way for the first few seconds of that matchup, though. He knew that there was bad blood already between Storm and Masters, and he just let them get started with it.
Yeah, Storm came in hot under the collar, feigned the last call super kick, maybe just trying to measure, get his distance on Rosser. Of course, if Storm hits you with that, it can be over in a hurry. We talked about the abilities of these guys, Fred Rosser and what he's done. How about James Storm, former TNA world champion, defeated the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle to win that title, an 8-time NWA tag team title holder. Storm 7 times before the Corgan era, and 1 during it. Nice single leg pick there by the Cowboy into the side headlock. Boy, this is just fun to watch. 2 great pros, and watching on the outside is Masters.
I don't blame Masters for trying to sit out on the side now, too, just like Fred Dosser did earlier in the matchup. Now he's hanging out, getting some momentum back, and letting these guys beat each other up.
Yeah, he called the timeout. He might be the smartest man in Thunder Studios, is Chris Masters.
And recently, Fred Rosser, living up to that moniker of no days off, got himself into incredible shape during the shutdown, but then returned to action as part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. We saw Clark Connors, Danny Limelight earlier. We've seen Carl Fredericks. Rosser has been scoring big victories on New Japan Strong.
I think a big key for Fred Rosser is that block the hate movement, because there's something that can spur you on when you stand for something that's bigger than yourself. That can be a real motivator to drive you when the chips are down.
Well, we got a real slugfest here. And a meeting of the minds, you might say, with the headbutts there.
Yeah, use your head for more than a hat, I'll say.
Look out here, looking maybe for a powerbomb, maybe looking for that Eye of the Storm. Ripcord, oh, look at that.
Beautiful job there, Storm, evading that right hand, getting underneath and dropping that.
He's calling his shot, but Masters on the outside. Ever the opportunist.
That's one thing you have to watch out for in these triple threat matches, is somebody to try and steal it when you think you have the match won, and then the rug gets pulled out from under you. Oh, my goodness, unforgiving.
Hip toss right on that concrete floor, and for a moment makes a Bearded Outlaw a non-factor, and that's what you got to do. You talk about having your head in a swivel. You also have to isolate somebody out of there and try and take advantage. Force it into a one-on-one matchup and try and make quick work if you can. Easier said than done.
Here's the thing, Masters isn't making any friends with Storm or Dosser. Both of them want a piece of him now. So as soon as Storm gets back in that ring, Masters better not have his back facing him.
Rosser in trouble right now, and Masters so powerful. You see, once he has those fingers locked, beautiful butterfly suplex, center of the ring. Boy, and if he can lock those fingers in that master lock, guys, it's a big-time difference maker.
No doubt about it. He's put most everybody down with that master lock. You talk about some of the greats that this business has ever seen fallen victim to the master lock.
A dangerous thing about the master lock, though, this is a triple threat match. One-on-one, that's great because you're not so worried about somebody else jumping in. But there's a third guy in here. He's probably going to be mad at Chris Masters, so he needs to be careful if he decides to slap that master lock on.
Can your kitchen knife do this? How about this? Well, now it can. Born of the forge with a heart of steel and fire is a once-in-a-lifetime knife inspired by the hit TV show Forged in Fire. So sharp and so strong, it will cut everything in your kitchen, frozen or fresh. Forged in Fire's knives, surgical steel construction, and razor-sharp edge literally shatters the competition. And that means no more bashing bread or terrorizing your turkey. Each knife is hammered right out of the forge and comes professionally sharpened so you can tear through your T-bone. And even fillet your fish. Make salads speedy and simple. Then finish with your fruits. Its professional ergonomic handle won't slip, even chopping this frozen solid block of ice. And that torture won't dull its precision sharpness. Amazing! Professional chefs know a sharper knife is a safer knife because you cut exactly where you need to. Your food, not your fingers. Let's watch that again. That's a sharp knife. It may be the last knife you'll ever buy, and we'll hand number each limited edition item to commemorate your purchase. Professional knives like this can cost over $300, but you won't pay that. Now you can get the 8-inch surgical stainless steel Forged in Fire chef's knife for the low price of only $29.95. And when you order now, you'll get the Forged in Fire paring knife absolutely free for razor sharp results with your fruits and vegetables. And that's not all. Order a second set of knives right now, and we'll give you free shipping on the entire order. And all Forged in Fire knives come with our 50-year guarantee. But you must order now.
To order, call 1-800-667-0579 or go to buyforgedinfire.com. Don't wait. Call 1-800-667-0579 or go to buyforgedinfire.com.
You talk about his experience, and it goes to show the veteran move he did early on in this matchup by just letting these two guys go at it and hanging out on the outside, waiting for his time to pounce and getting the best of both of them now that he waited.
And I gotta mention this Masters dishing out the pain right now on Rosser and really controlling the pace of this matchup. Masters has been a really well-traveled competitor in his time outside of the WWE. He's traveled the globe, all points in between Australia, in Qatar, in the Middle East. In fact, he and Carlito, I believe, are tag team champions in Qatar Pro Wrestling.
Something else worth noting is Masters doing a fantastic job of using really low-risk maneuvers to be chopping away at the energy bar of both his opponents. He's not doing big things. He's not really worried about doing big slams and getting countered. Low-risk moves that are high effectiveness.
Maybe helping him keep that head on a swivel so he can keep switching back and forth between opponents.
That's a great point, James. He beats one down, and then just as soon as Storm starts to stir on the outside, he'll go over there, he'll redirect his focus, get a shot or two on Storm. Storm has not been able to get off the sidelines for, a good 5 or 6 minutes.
Key for Rosser or Storm is just to try and find any opening to slow down Masters' momentum and swing it. And that might be it for Fred Rosser. Connected with that shot.
Beat him to the punch there. And maybe now, carrying the little bit less body weight, conditioning might become a factor. Rosser, a quicker competitor, and not under the effect of the liquid libations like maybe a Storm, might have the advantage the longer this match goes.
Something to keep in mind, though, is Dasha's been taking damage, and it is exhausting getting your butt kicked. It is exhausting.
Yeah,
mentally and physically, I'd imagine.
Does the big man punch himself out at some point? Talking about Masters, again, beat him to the punch. You got to watch out for Storm on the outside. That ramp has claimed a lot of victims over the weeks here. The 5-week history, DDT. Good night, sir. Good night, sir. Thanks for playing.
Dasha looks out, man. He's limp.
Tag him, bag him. I don't know if we're going to see Fred Rosser back in this match. Unbelievable maneuver by James Storm.
Couldn't block that, could he? And Rosser in big trouble there, and now he's going to be relegated to the outside. The window of opportunity opens for the Bearded Outlaw and the Masterpiece. Boy, what a struggle.
Storm doesn't even want the pin on Dosser. He wants to go to...
Rosser eats that DDT, and still continues to fight. I mean, amazing.
Showing tremendous heart. He's showing that it's not hard to knock him down, but it's getting him to stay down that counts.
Storm looks like his back's still hurt from that hip toss on the outside earlier by Chris Masters. You saw him holding his back a second ago.
See what Storm has in mind. At least, hey, step one, he got back in the ring. So that's a moral victory, if nothing else. And there, the back is smarting him, as you mentioned. And look at, able to sit back and pick off just like a giant vulture is the masterpiece. Now with all that power personified, trying to bring in Rosser, too much balance. Avoids the suplex. Can't avoid this. Look at this. Roll up now by James Storm. Opportunistic. Oh, right to the big boot.
I am just so impressed that Rosser is even in this match right now after the damage that he has sustained.
I give him a lot of credit because he didn't just roll out and go take a break. He has been in there nonstop in the heat of the battle, fighting in the trenches.
We'll talk about heat of the battle. Rosser is going to work. Shot after shot, beating down the masterpiece. Making a statement is Fred Rosser right now. We see some great striking by Rosser, the type of striking he's put on display in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now here at United Wrestling, Time Live. Seated splash, center of the ring. Can the Cowboy break it up? Not in position. Masterpiece had to kick out, had no choice.
Had no choice. I thought the win might have been completely taken out of him, though. That could have been a big-time victory for Rosser.
You got to start wondering, how much does Storm have left in him? He has been really damaged since early on in this matchup. He might be the weakest link in this ring. Maybe tossing Masters out and Rosser going for the pin on Storm might be the way to win this matchup.
Huge match in the pecking order here. Bragging rights on the line, but you think of the fact that we've got United Television title on the line earlier. We saw the West Coast Pro title. Look out here. We've seen the NWA World's Heavyweight title, 10 pounds of gold on this program, so many championships. All these three guys could get in position to perhaps contend for this thing picking up. Look at this, neckbreaker DDT in stereo, ringing the bells, and now going for the cover as the Cowboy looking to take advantage. Not yet.
He had a choice to make on who to cover. A little bit of hesitation there. That might have been the difference between the 2 and the 3 count there.
I think he went for the right choice, though. Rosser has had a lot more damage thus far in the matchup than Masters has. I think he went for the right pin.
Great point, including that huge DDT on the ramp. But now look at this, body strewn everywhere. 3 great superstars that have brought all of their accolades, all their experience to Primetime Live. Who can dig down deep, find that little something extra, and pick up the win?
Rosser literally using the ropes to move his body. He has such little left in the tank, but he's got all heart.
Yeah, but Masters is on his feet, and that gives him a big advantage right now. The big man looming over his 2 opponents, his 2 would-be victims at this point in the match.
I'd like to see him try for the guy on the outside and isolate him again, but Tim Storm back with a good counter.
Oh, looking for that last call. Now the master lock, but he's got to lace the fingers. And just to your point, Rosser there to break it up. You mentioned that was a danger for Masters. Oh, now a hook kick. Oh, I think he caught him low. And the official there was dealing with Masters.
Didn't see it.
Yep. Jawbreaker the other way. Boy, I'll tell you. Incredible action. Just completely unbelievable, unpredictable. Gut check there by Rosser. Can he put him away? He can.
Phenomenal victory.
Here is your winner, Fred Rosser.
Rosser came here to take on a masterpiece and had to take on James Storm as well, and would not be denied. No days off. Primetime player, living up to the moniker here on Primetime Live. Let's take a look back at the action here. Deposits, Storm to the outside, and here we see this gut check. Here, Blake elevated.
Big gut check here, and I think the big thing that got this pin is you can see Rosser hook the legs. Watch him triangle his legs.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my passion has always been to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. TV has helped MyPillow become the amazing company that it is today. So my employees and I want to thank you with some of our best prices ever. Go to MyPillow.com right now and click on TV specials. You'll get deep discounts on MyPillows, mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regular $89.99 for only $29.99 with your promo code.
This is a national healthcare alert from the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one has diabetes, listen closely. Now, regardless of your age, if you have insurance, you may qualify to receive diabetic testing supplies with little to no out-of-pocket cost. Get free delivery, free information, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers for free. Call the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline now for details. Toll free at this number. But wait, there's more. If you call right now, you could get a meter upgrade. In addition, we'll give you a free pair of diabetic socks as our special gift to you. Regardless of your age, if you suffer with diabetes and have insurance, you may qualify to get free delivery of your supplies. Call now. We can help.
Call 1-800-216-0543. 1-800-216-0543. That's 1-800-216-0543. Call now.
Here to set the stage,
The following
Adnan
contest
Qureshi.
is scheduled for one fall, and it is for the United Television Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. From the Barbary Coast, weighing in at 170 pounds, the illustrious Dom Kubrick.
New champion tonight. Nope.
And introducing his opponent. From Buffalo, New York, weighing in at 204 pounds, he is the United Television Champion, Dan Joseph!
Woo! We got this! I got this! This is mine, and I'm leaving with
Infectious energy by the champion. And a longtime broadcast colleague of mine, he joined me in the broadcast booth when he was rehabbing from a knee injury, and he really said at the time that helped him as a competitor. And maybe I can ask this to you, because similar, you're a competitor that can now scout. He saw little nuances, things that he could adjust in his game, and it made him a better competitor, so he says. Speaking of Dan Joseph, when he returned to competition, the proof's in the pudding, he's the television champion.
I can 100% relate to that, because you're not always getting better at moves. Sometimes you're learning at getting better at playing the game and competing. And Dan Joseph has done a significant job of getting better during that time off.
Boy, slapped to the face by Kubrick, and one return by the champion. Dan Joseph did not take lightly to that. Now going to work.
No, like I said, he is blue collar. He's willing to do the yeoman's work, the dirty work. And, you talk about him as being a broadcast partner and everything. Gives you a different vantage point to maybe where he could see somebody like a Kubrick that uses these mind games and maybe not be psyched out by them.
Kubrick having taken offense to that slap, well, he dished one out. If you can give it, you better be prepared to take it. North-south position here by Dan Joseph. Nice sit-out and reversal by Kubrick to come up with the rear chin lock. Good chain wrestling in the early going. Challenger takes the advantage.
Kubrick's under the chin, but Dan Joseph has an arm inside, so he's not necessarily being choked. Let's see if he's able to turn this back into an arm lock.
See if the champ, well, that's one way to escape, using his power into a beautiful belly-to-back suplex. Great power on display by the champion.
Absolutely. Dan Joseph now doing a little mugging, maybe some mind games, a little bit of extravagance of his own from the illustrious Dan Joseph.
So something we're seeing out here at Dom Kubrick is he is very quick. He's been able to transition around Dan Joseph. He might even be a little bit faster than Dan. And Dan is typically the faster guy in there. Let's see if Kubrick is able to keep this speed and agility up.
And when it was announced that Kubrick would challenge for the United Television title, to a lot of fanfare on social media, a lot of great local SoCal talent saying, hey, don't sleep on this guy. Kubrick's so excited he's making his way to Primetime Live to have this opportunity to perform under the bright lights, and we'll see if it pays off. Muscles him over, does the champ, and comes up with the reversal and back in control. The chess match continues in our main event.
That was a very nice transition there by Dan Joseph. The last place you want your opponent is on your back, because all your weapons are facing away from you, or away from your opponent, excuse me.
And Levi Shapiro, probably thanks to the grubby paws of Howdy Price has procured himself a rematch clause. So whoever wins this main event matchup, no rest for the wicked. Look at this big spinning sidewalk slam by Dan Joseph. High impact to take control, and a big slam to boot into the cover. Champ looking to retain. Winner of this match, guys, faces timeless Levi Shapiro this weekend on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
That's going to be a huge matchup. If it's Dan Joseph again, it'll be the 4th time they've competed against each other. But both these guys cannot look past their opponent here tonight.
Like Dan Joseph all fired up, saying this is my house. Man, light, you talked about the speed, maybe advantage of Kubrick.
What is he thinking?
But great lightning fast arm drag there by the champ.
Yeah, Dan Joseph no slouch himself, and the more that he, thinks he punishes Kubrick, maybe he can slow him down. But the thing about Kubrick is that he sort of likes that pain. He feeds off it a little bit. He likes to dish it out, but he likes to take it a little bit.
You know what? We were doing our fighter interviews earlier, and I got to tell you, I was a little creeped out a little bit by Kubrick, saying that he considers himself a bit of a masochist, that he enjoys giving pain, he enjoys taking it, and if he is to win the television title, he'll have a bullseye in his back. That means a whole lot more people he can dish pain out to and take pain from.
I actually respect him saying that because I can relate to that. Like in mixed martial arts, it takes me a few, wow, what an incredible flip there by Dom Kubrick to escape that German suplex.
Swing and a miss, but Kubrick is so innovative with his offense, so unorthodox, using his environment there. I mean, he can strike from all angles. And look, he's looking to pounce here and strike. He's got that leg hooked, looking to spring in. Don't know what he's got in mind, but it's not going to be good for the champ.
Yeah, this might be just a different enough look for Dan Joseph. What a twisting cutter there from the second rope by Kubrick into a cover. Could be all one. Dan Joseph able to escape.
That was a big move, but it was dangerous. We saw earlier in the evening, Clark Connors slipped off the ropes, and it ended up almost costing him the matchup there.
Yeah, but Kubrick, to your point, thought it was going to be a cover and didn't have much room to work with, but spun it around into a swinging neck breaker. And look at the champ, clutching the neck. So high impact move might have been a way to turn the tables in this matchup. Just holding on for dear life right now as the champion, holding on to this waist lock.
Ooh.
Drives him down. Great championship competition. And how about, speaking of championship competition, again, guys, 8-man tournament to determine the first ever United Wrestling Network World Champion. The field will be announced next week. I can't wait to see. I mean, after some of the names that we've seen on this program, I can't wait to see who makes that final 8 to contend, to compete for the illustrious prize.
I have no doubt that it is going to be just some top-tier talent in that tournament, and I cannot wait to see how the bracket shakes out and just what will be an unbelievable crowning and inauguration of the first ever United Wrestling Network World Champion.
Lot of buzz on our social media about that, and now shot after shot between champion and challenger, and the champ hit hard on that turnbuckle. The neck's already been attacked. That had to send shockwaves of pain through the champ's neck.
What's up, y'all? It's Ice-T. Now, you never know what's going to go wrong with your car. It could be a transmission, could be the timing chain or that check engine light. Now, can I tell the future? Absolutely not. But I do know it's not a matter of if your car will break down, but when. And before that happens, you should call my friends at Car Shield. Their administrators pay for expensive car repairs, so you don't have to. And that's the truth.
Car Shield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles.
If it wasn't for Car Shield, I would have paid a lot of money out of pocket, and I would have been too happy. When I bought my used car, I didn't expect any problems right away. But when it broke down, I'm glad I had Car Shield.
Another truth, I drive with Car Shield. Just like you, it goes against my principles to throw money away. I wasn't always famous, and who doesn't love saving money on expensive car repairs? Car Shield is like a guard dog protecting my wallet, which gives me real peace of mind when I drive. And you can take that to the bank.
With coverage through Car Shield's administrators, you'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge. Plus, with Car Shield's nationwide coverage network, you can choose the mechanic or dealership of your choice no matter where you are.
So in 1 year, I saved $2,500. That's amazing.
I don't worry about car breakdowns because I have Car Shield.
Some of y'all sitting at home might end up just like me, walking. especially if you get hit with a huge car repair bill you can't afford. Or you could call my friends at CarShield and see that saving money on expensive car repairs is really a smart move.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call CarShield for a free and instant protection plan quote. Once your car breaks down, it's too late. Call 800-319-4849. That's 800-319-4849.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation. You can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, but you've got to call now. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Absolutely just racked in pain. You heard him just yell out in extreme pain is Dan Joseph. Kubrick's be loving every moment of it.
Kubrick in total control, but we know Dan Joseph is very resilient. You know, let's talk about some of his title defenses. Since returning to live action, he defeated E.J. Sparks, Slice Boogie, we know how tough he is, and Levi Shapiro himself. So it's hard to take him out for good. One step ahead, though. Rotates around into the clothesline. Again, he just you never know where he's going to hit you from. He always finds a way. You think he's going to work the leg? No, goes upstairs with the clothesline. Countered there, though, by the champ.
Dan Joseph showing signs of maybe desperation. What a DDT.
No desperation there. Acceleration towards the title, but only a count of two. Man, what a struggle, what a battle. And oh, look at this. Back the other way by the champ.
So Dominic Kubrick's been doing a good job of grinding Dan Joseph down. Now he's starting to do bigger impact attacks, and he's looking to get the pin and finish this matchup and go home with the title.
I'll tell you, somebody that's loving every second of this is Levi Shapiro, because this has been a knockdown, drag-out war. Whoever wins this thing, what are they going to have left for the timeless one on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood? Digging down deep for the springboard clothesline, one of his signatures there by the champion.
Yeah, might not be anything left of either one of these competitors, but Kubrick is just really showing why he was the 2018 Rookie of the Year, and he is looking to make a big name for himself in Primetime Live. As Dan Joseph, though, is starting to come alive.
Sure is. Got him hooked. Fisherman suplex, but I think it's the pain on the neck. He couldn't hold onto that cradle. If he could, he might have put him away. Kubrick digs down, kicks it too.
As you guys mentioned, there's going to be a matchup. The winner of this is facing Levi Shapiro this coming weekend to defend that title. Both these guys are taking a lot of mileage so far in this matchup. Let's see if that comes into play in that next title defense for whoever it may be.
And Shapiro's got momentum. We saw him defeat Brian Idol last week on Primetime Live. Wide open shot to the neck. Swing and a miss, but look at this, comes back. Dom Buster, as he calls it, his variation of that blockbuster springs through, and imagine the pain that put on the neck of the champion after all this damage.
Well, this shows what a champion is made of. Dan Joseph right now is displaying the heart of a champion. That's what that kick out was.
Let it go. I just don't know how he survived that Dom Buster, but now even a neck breaker. You know, that jaw breaker is a sacrifice play here, James, by the champion.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Pyrrhic victory at best for Dan Joseph. I go back to that cover that he made with that injured neck. That's all he could get on the body of Kubrick.
Backstabber. Nicely done. And back and forth. Struggle for the title, cover. Hand was coming down, but only a count of two.
And again, a cover in the loosest sense of the word. Dan Joseph not able to properly follow up.
Yeah, barely able to get any offense there, and almost no effort into the pin besides rolling himself on top. You got to wonder how much Dan Joseph has left in the tank.
Incredible power struggle here. The champion as hell-bent to hold on to the title, as the challenger is to take it away. Something's got to give in our main event on Primetime Live. Double underhook, swings him around, all the body weight comes down. center of the ring, hook of the leg, history to be made. Only a count of 2. What's it gonna take, guys?
This is that blue collar toughness out of Dan Joseph. Man, what do you got to hit this guy with to keep him down for a 3 count?
You are going to have to pry that television championship away from Dan Joseph. And right there, he just showed you he's got better things to do tonight on Primetime Live than die. But what a debut it would be for Kubrick to walk away here with that championship.
Champions have been steadfast. 7 different championships have been defended. Now in the over 1 month of Primetime Live, history made on one occasion. Trevor Murdoch winning the NWA National title from Aaron Stevens. But are we going to see our second title change in our 5-week history of the program? Out the back door, trying to pull him down into a variation of a powerbomb. And he's got the neck hooked. I think he had him trapped there.
That just saved the matchup for Joseph.
Big springboard, not so fast, my friend. In the words of Lee Corso, but again, I mean, what do they have left at this point?
Dominic Kubrick's got to be wondering to himself, what do I got to do to Dan Joseph if I want to take his belt?
Up top again. Like, don't know how much of that he got, but almost enough. Great athleticism by Kubrick, pulling out all the stops.
High risk. He knows it's Primetime Live. He wants to walk away with that championship. He is pulling out all the stops. Now, Dragon Sleeper, that is a smart move at this point after all the damage he's done to that neck.
Tons of
Look at the way he's wrenching that back and that neck. Dan Joseph's neck has been taking a significant amount of damage throughout this matchup.
But Dan Joseph somehow powers him up. Incredible, but no, right back down. Now the hooks are in. The champion in trouble.
Look at the torque on that neck. That neck is in a dangerous position. Dan Joseph needs to do something to get out of here. He needs to pop that leg off and get out.
Got to the rope, did the champion, saving grace there. Ring general, and that's about the only thing that saved him. Hooks were in. Dragon Sleeper applied, but man, that neck's got to just be holding on by a thread at this point.
I agree with what James said about it being a very smart move for him to go for a submission there. He has done a lot of big, high-impact attacks with Dan Joseph, and none of it's been able to put him away, so it's very smart to switch it up.
Switching it up indeed, German suplex. Oh, he did it!
Here is your winner, and still United Television Champion, Dan Joseph.
You look up fighting champion, and I'll tell you, it should really be #1 in your search engine. Dan Joseph, digging down deep. I mean, Dom Kubrick dished out everything. He likes giving pain, taking it. Kubrick did a lot of both in this matchup, and somehow Dan Joseph holds on.
I told you. Wall-to-wall action right here on CBS Lake Charles. Dan Joseph was taken to the limit, but still retained the United Television Championship. Great showings from all competitors today, and we look forward to seeing them back in the United Wrestling Network ring very soon. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and come back next week and every week for more stars, more titles, and more matches that you won't see anywhere else besides right here on Championship Wrestling Gulf Coast.